Yeah, you definitely can't. I mean, they did defeat KT, right? KT was still struggling with some consistency issues back then. They are looking much better now, but it is possible. Glad that you do mention it.
So jumping into the picks and bans, Jace ban straight up against Khan. He is 7-0 on this champion, I believe, and in the interview against BBQ, I believe Khan said, you know, it feels like Jace was made just for me. Sounds like true love, Brendan Valdez.
Yeah. I mean, he also said that if you're good at Jace, you can defeat anyone, basically. He feels like it's extremely OP, and he's obviously really good at the champion, so... I mean, you just got to take it away from him. If he's talking like that and he's also 7-0, then it's like, okay, the most obvious ban in the world, so...
And
take it out first.
Speaking of champions with 7 wins, BDD's Galio also taken away 7-1, but get this, he has a 34.3 KDA on this champion. And I don't think ROX Tigers wants to feed that KDA, as they do first pick the Maokai. They must have seen the last match.
Yeah, they've been watching. They've been watching abroad. They've been playing themselves on 7-14. They know how strong of a pick this is. Perhaps even stronger than the Elise. And so it will be picked up. And it looks like we will have Cuz on the Elise in that case. And obviously giving the Ashe over to Prey will be on his signature champion.
Talking a little bit about the AD carries as well, you expect the Caitlyn ban, but I like the Kalista ban against Songyun because he has actually somewhat built himself 3 wins and 0 losses on this champion, as we do get a review of what Maokai looks like. And Cho'Gath actually walking by. Remember that he's also around. You might be able to see him soon.
It's a nice little Easter egg in that intro video. Cho'Gath feasting himself. Not gentleman Cho'Gath though, so I was a little bit disappointed. We do have the Xayah pickup as well as Gragas, so a great front line already for this carry of Xayah. We've seen this time and time again.
Songyun definitely opting for the Xayah makes a lot of sense to me. The Caitlyn's ban, his Kalista's ban, and after that, Xayah is his most played champion, I feel, with 2 wins and 6 losses, but that's still 8 games, and probably going to go for something he's comfortable on, as BDD, speaking of comfort, goes with Talia. And as we go into the second ban phase, I expect to see, the Lucian ban coming out for Longzhu.
Want to take that away from Lava, I suppose. Just say, okay, we're not going to allow you to play this into Talia. They're trying to enable their mid lane carry in BDD with that pick.
And a Zyra ban against Gorilla. Just looking at the champions he's played, Gorilla 8 games on Zyra and 12 games on Thresh, so that might leave the Braum open unless Key takes it for himself. And another mid lane ban, LeBlanc against Lava. Lava, one of these players I think a lot of people are just basically calling the weakest mid laner in the LCK, and to be fair, I think it's a reasonable thing to say. He was somewhat thrown to the wolves, as I like to call it, in the second round as Mickey left the ROX Tigers roster. Trundle.
He definitely was, and he's struggling to find success here on a kind of weakened ROX lineup. But yeah, as you mentioned, the troll returns. This time it's not so trolly. And I'm excited to see Khan on this kind of play, on this kind of pick, a split pusher, someone who can really get in your face and go 1v1 with pretty much anyone, especially that Maokai in the top lane.
And Lava in response takes Syndra, another bursty mid lane mage champion. I really like the respect that Longzhu is giving to Lava. Maybe it's not respect, maybe from their perspective it's more like, we're not going to let you do anything this game.
Yeah.
But the Trundle for Khan as well, also noteworthy, and Key does take that Braum away from Gorilla. So Gorilla might play something crazy, I'm not sure, but he does always have the Janna, which is somewhat becoming meta. He has options like Kennen, Blitzcrank, so we'll see what he goes for in the last pick.
Morgana! Okay, let's see if he actually locks it in, though.
Oh, please do.
I mean, this pick is being picked up a couple of times over in NALCS. I believe it was. I don't remember exactly who picked it up, but
there it is.
We're seeing it more and more often, and it's kind of a cool idea. That Black Shield is obviously very good for all the magical engage that these compositions are throwing at you. You know, Twisted Advance or even a Maokai ultimate or a Cask can be easily dodged with the well-timed Black Shield.
Key changing it up in the last second to Rakan. Didn't catch that. I still thought he was playing Braum. But let's talk about this Morgana, because players have been playing it in solo queue a lot recently, including Gorilla, of course, who's playing right now, but also Core JJ, who played the last match. If you look at his solo queue records, he's been playing a lot of support Morgana. So I was wondering if we might see it in the LCK. Usually, stereotypically, Korea is not known as the most innovative region, but tonight we've seen plenty of new things come out. So I'm really enjoying the novelty of the matches.
Yeah, it definitely is really cool to see all of these new picks come in with just one new patch. And yeah, I like the idea of the Morgana too. It's like, if you really want to hard engage on us, you might even get 5-man, rooted by that Morgana, or just eat a Q to the face and not be going anywhere for a very long time.
And the Black Shield has to be excellent against the Syndra. It's gonna just block all that magic damage, keep Prairie alive for much longer, or BDD alive for much longer. As we get one final look at the team compositions. Shy couldn't make it work, and Smeb couldn't make it work. Let's see if Khan could make the troll work in his third appearance recently.
I have faith.
It's Khan.
Yeah, it is Khan, and he is up against Linderong, so definitely a one-sided match in the top lane. And either way, guys, this is the final look at the skins. Let's jump into game number 1 of Longzhu versus the ROX Tigers. Okay, well, Longzhu, they brought everybody and their moms with them, as they have a huge cheer from the crowd. These guys, it makes sense. Everybody does like to cheer for the favorite team, and these guys are on a roll, looking for their, I believe it's 5th in a row?
Yeah, 5th in a row.
No, they're 6th in a row, actually, as they have 5 games against Afrika, MVP, BBQ, SKT, and Ever 8.
Speaking of Longzhu, going for early, group and invade into the enemy jungle, I think this is mainly because they do have the Morgana. That level 1 Q, the bind, could be really long, but the ROX Tigers, with a good response, I feel, sending their top-end jungle into the red side jungle of Longzhu, and also the Rakan sneaking in through the tri-brush and warding the blue buff of Longzhu as well. So overall, I feel like ROX Tigers should feel really comfortable because they get to see everything, but still, the Longzhu squad has proven themselves. I mean, they're first place for a reason, right? And I know you were talking about the fans. It almost feels like the fans have been wishing every season, it's happening, it's happening. Well, it has happened. They are in first place now.
Look at Cuz's route here. He goes for Raptors with the help of Talia, kills all of them but the big one, and then immediately goes for blue. And looks like someone has actually read this very well. He's going to go to the blue of Cuz, but this does mean that Trundle in the top lane is going to be extremely safe from level 1, and he can just push in all day long. I mean, you're going up against a Maokai at level 1. What are you going to do against a Trundle? Eat a bunch of chomps in the face and die? And so he's going to have a grand old time up in top lane.
Fantastic hawk shot by Trey. He knows exactly what's likely to happen as he sniffs out Seonghwan. And speaking of the bottom lane, Gorilla is 2 for 2, at least from what we've seen on camera in terms of landing that binding. Could be very dangerous for the ROX Tigers in the next few minutes.
Yeah, just some target practice for now, as those don't really do too much damage. They just kind of zone your opponent out at this level. And you can see what Khan is doing. I mean, he's just pushing it in. It's totally fine to do this. And Linderong is the one putting saplings in the brush, saying, oh, I hope I don't get dived early by this Elise, because that is also another option for Cuz after he does pick up this red buff.
Seonghwan, a sneaky gank as he belly flops down to the Dragon Pit and makes his way to the bottom lane without getting seen, but the Black Shield, there it is.
Yeah, good luck ganking Prey here. I mean, you're going to need a big follow-up from Key and also Songyun to make sure that you do get that off, but as he was seen, it was an easy retreat from Longzhu.
Must be so fun being a Longzhu team member with having such a reliable bottom lane. Khan specifically, again, going back to that post-match interview after the BBQ match, saying it feels almost impossible not to produce results when you're on the same team as Gorilla and Prey. So it really shows the type of leadership, although, you know, Khan, not exactly a rookie player, but for Cuz, definitely a lot of support and leadership he could look up to.
Oh, that ward by Key. That was very key, if you will. And, oh, he actually jumps on in, almost baiting Cuz into this one. If he can land a cocoon, maybe, but not even going to try for it.
I'm not sure he actually saw with the ward, because I just don't understand the decision to go in unless he, you know, on purpose kind of wanted to go for a flashy move like that, because he didn't have any backup coming.
Yeah, I think it was just to stop the recall, because you could see he immediately hopped back. He was like, nope, I'm out of here. Goodbye. Might have just been because he missed the grand entrance, but either way, does end up kind of messing with Cuz a little bit.
And the junglers keep on farming, as do all the lanes, but BDD heading up top, decides not to follow up on that.
No vision at all up top, and look at how low Linderong is. I mean, just one pillar. Okay, he does have his flash, but this is an easy follow-up. Nice Q, though, from Linderong, and a flash away. Well-timed, as Cuz decides to use that repel to try to get into the fight.
And Linderong, again, it's a matter of, you know, the ROX Tigers top laners. It feels like a vacant position. It feels like a position of weakness that other teams could exploit. When I saw Linderong on the roster instead of Shy, it kind of brought a sad little tear to my eye, as Shy's been trying, and he's been playing a lot of recent games, but hasn't been finding success, especially culminating in that Jax loss last time he played. I'm sure the fans must have been really looking forward to that Jax, but didn't work out, and now they put in Linderong, but he's getting out farmed by this Trundle. Amiss all this top lane pressure as well.
Okay, we got a fight down in bottom lane. Gorilla getting pretty low, as perhaps he wasn't able to land a Q in that moment in time. So just backs off with a bunch of health. None of the summoners are used.
Cuz is just not leaving Seonghwan alone.
They're just both not leaving top, right? They're just hanging around here. Seonghwan, he wants to help the top laner, he wants to help the Maokai, but Cuz knows that, so he's just sticking around, saying, no, it's me, Elise, I'm back again, you didn't ban me, and you didn't pick me, so I'll just terrorize you in your own jungle.
Cute little move showing the teamwork between Khan and Cuz. Khan using the pillar to pop up the Gragas so that he can't really get in close for the smite, as Cuz secures that Gromp, takes it away from him.
Here's BDD now, as everybody on the side of Longzhu really wants to terrorize this top side. Okay, we have the long-range engage here from Linderong.
That's right, this might get a little dicey.
He's going to stun here onto Cuz, but he still has Repel. This is a 4-on-3, actually, as Key makes his way up. Now it's just up to Longzhu to try to get out of this one, but Khan cannot. It's going to be first blood going over to Linderong.
A bit too eager, I feel, as Khan is the first to go down, and Key with the right read, making it up to the top lane in time, but it's just one of those things. You just stayed too long. And arrogance or maybe overconfidence, call it what you want, but definitely a great result for the ROX Tigers.
Yeah, that was just a great play by Key for sure. I mean, he saw that the bottom lane of Longzhu went back, so he immediately started going up top. He knew that his team was dealing with pressure up there, and you can see he makes his way all the way through the mid lane. So having this Maokai for engage, pushes them into the pit. Lava is able to land the stun, but then Khan just gets a little bit too far forward. They weren't expecting Key to make it in here. And once he shows up, Longzhu had already gone too deep, and they cannot disengage.
And as the game continues, great for the ROX Tigers as well in that they do get a lot of vision in terms of the entrances to the Longzhu red side jungle. They should be able to, if they're lucky, sniff out where Elise might be headed and make some further plays off of that.
Yeah. We'll see what the Elise can do in terms of finding other places to gank, because before this he was just trying to stop anything towards top lane. but definitely can find an opportunity down in bot, especially as Gorilla and Prey hit level 6. It's going to be up to Songyun and Key to just try to Feather Storm and dash away from this engage, as they will want absolutely none of this. You can see how far back they are playing as it is pushing into them as well. They know the potential in the bot lane of Longzhu, with the help of Elise especially.
They do have the Gragas behind them though, and Cuz pinging that he wants to move into the river and get into that, you know, raptor area of the ROX Tigers jungle. Ooh. Vine misses. One thing that also catches my eye is the top lane matchup. The Maokai versus Trundle is something that we saw in the first game between KT Rolster and Samsung Galaxy. And as we all know, this is a new patch. Now, in that first game, there was so much different things going on. We had a Rengar, we had a Nunu, and all kinds of, you know, hectic, chaotic fights and engages going on. But maybe this is the, you know, in a much more controlled environment, we could really see what the difference is between the Trundle and Maokai matchup and in terms of how it goes. Because in theory, you might expect, you know, okay, Maokai is a very strong, tanky champion, but could Trundle ultimate take away all the resistances and make him vulnerable enough to really nullify the pick? That's what I really want to know as this game goes on.
Well, he can definitely take away that tankiness, but he can't stop the trees from advancing, basically, unless he gets like the perfect pillar to keep Maokai totally away from the fight. A very hard feat indeed, but definitely going to be forcing Maokai away from the team fights and just trying to split push. That is where Trundle's main strength will come in, compared to the Maokai, who's a team fighting beast. And so they're just trying to be avoiding that as much as possible. And because he hasn't really been able to find anything on the map, so instead he starts a very early Rift Herald, nearly right after it spawned, only 50 seconds after it spawns in 10 minutes.
And they know exactly where Seongwon is, or at least generally where Seongwon is. They know that he's in the blue side jungle of Longzhu because he did hit that vision plant. The effect kind of rippled out on the map, so easy Rift Herald take for Longzhu.
Yeah, nicely done in a game where not much is happening early on, and ROX is playing carefully enough. They can set that up. So either way, nice setup here. The arrow is going to go completely wide, although they are still trying to turn it around. But here comes Lava in from the mid lane. Looks like Longzhu will be able to disengage in time.
All the ultimates are burned, and the summoners are still intact for both bottom lanes. So Prey and Gorilla somewhat safely going back to the comfort of their own turret. Just a little bit of action. Only ultimates traded. Well, now Elise is making her way downstairs, or down to the bottom lane.
Yeah, she was upstairs in her room. Okay, here comes Seongwon. Not really able to do much as the Black Shield is used on Gorilla. He's like,
probably
Bray, you can die. I don't care about you. I gotta save myself.
Probably a misclick because they, the two of them were really close together when it came down. There's no way that Gragas is going to hit the Morgana when the Ashe is standing in front of her. Now Elise making her way down to the bottom lane, but nothing to be found.
See that Prey just steps forward a little bit too much. That's
Longzhu going to take this opportunity to summon the Rift Herald, knowing that the bottom lane had recalled, and even BDD. So a first brick going down to Longzhu, really making the most of the recall timing of the ROX Tigers bottom lane.
Yeah, much in the way that Key made use of Prey and Gorilla's recall to help out with the first blood. Longzhu similarly, as a team, do the same in the bottom lane. So it does mean that they can't really set up any more kills for Prey and Gorilla, which is kind of interesting. You know, they don't have the crazy wombo combo, Ashe Arrow, Binding, Morgana Ultimate, you know, all this good stuff. But they will free them up to look for engages as a team elsewhere on the map. Meanwhile, ROX is going for this Mountain Drake. The Cocoon is going to land in a totally max range there. And a huge seismic shove. What a play by BDD. But as I say that, this is turning around. Cuz is going to go down as well as Gorilla. These guys are not as tanky as they believe. But ROX, have they pushed too far forward? Prey still on the chase.
He's going to flash.
He's going to flash. He's going to tag down Linderong here. Dodging that stun too. Connie's looking for the pillar. He's extremely fast. Can they actually knock him off? Prey trying to sacrifice his life.
Great
There's the
pillar.
Pillar, and the Feather Storm comes out. Can he drag it into someone? He does, into Khan, but
One
the
more.
last auto gets him on his way out. What a play there from the team of Longzhu to be able to turn that around.
And this game is starting to speed up, Renan Valdez. After the Rift Herald take from Longzhu, they use the Rift Herald onto the bottom outer tier turret, and ROX Tigers, while Longzhu is recalling, decides to go for the dragon. Well, Longzhu says, we're not going to let you take the dragon. We're going to have a fight.
Let's take another look here at this incredible seismic shove, because that's really what gets this started. The flash seismic shove, to get 4 of them, is a beauty.
Great follow-up by Gorilla as well. Although he does die, it does buy enough time for everybody to close in and let Prey basically do the cleanup duty.
Gorilla just got a little bit excited. He's like, oh, we're going to win this fight big time. And he realized that he's a very under-leveled Morgana compared to the rest of the team. So it does go down immediately, and at the same time, Cuz is pretty weak as well, and he gets taken out. But nice chasing there by the side of Longzhu. I think ROX, if they had picked up those 2 kills and backed off, that would have been really good for them. But chasing a little bit too long, and Longzhu able to punish them.
Well, Gorilla only getting 1 assist off that, but I feel like he's not even mad. He's not even mad about that. They did get a huge win. They had 2,000 gold, all thanks to that. So great result for the Longzhu squad, as ROX Tiger is still putting their eyes on this Mountain Drake.
They won it pretty badly, but Longzhu is sticking around. At the same time, BDD about to pick up his blue, which will be very nice for the poke.
And everybody's ultimates are back up again. We might see another fight happen in front of the Dragon Pit. I think it's mainly that they just want the vision around it. Now that their Herald is gone, they're just trying to play by the book and go for the next neutral objective. And as far as Drakes go, a Mountain Drake is definitely something that you might want. But I like what it looks like for Longzhu, because Prey does have the initiative on the bottom lane, so he could send that pushing in, which could create a little bit of pressure, just like how Lava is pushing in the mid lane.
Yeah.
This is also a great, angle for an Ashe ultimate. All he has to do is just shoot it straight up down up the river. But ROX Tigers, using their positional advantage, being close to the mid lane, they decide to go for the mid lane outer. Sungwon with great positioning of his own as well.
Arrow is going to hit key here to a nice follow-up burst damage from BDD, but I don't think he has enough by himself. And overall, this was a pretty good play from ROX to start off, but they're trying to continue fighting here against someone who is on the run, flashes that seismic shove to get out of harm's way. After all, a couple of flashes burned. They get a nice bit of damage done to that turret.
I think Longzhu just goes for the more reliable take, as Prey did shove in the bottom lane, and now they could get a free Mountain Drake. So stopping that fight early on, and even Khan gets to farm up this wave instead of wasting it while they do get the Mountain Drake. Good result for Longzhu.
Yeah, at the end of it all, you can see the gold lead kind of getting out of order here. It's only been 1 First Blood turret that was given over to the side of Longzhu, and the CS is relatively the same, except in the top lane where Khan is definitely leading, but they already have a 3,000 gold lead, and they're doing well managing their lanes. They also pick up that dragon to start. They're going to have to deal with the Lava, who's quite fed, sitting at 2-0-1 already. Already has a Haunting Guys too.
Yep, Lava, one of these players, again, kind of shoved into this ROX Tigers roster into the second round, and I don't think anybody really knows what to expect of him as of yet. Just in totality, he's only played about 12 matches. He does get down the outer mid lane turret, but it's kind of hard to know which champions he's good at. Even his most played champion is Orianna, and even that's 2 wins and 3 losses. Really can't say that it's a signature pick at that point. So maybe this is a match where he really makes a statement for himself.
Well, he is 1-0 on Syndra, which is nice. Looking to get another win on that champion. But yeah, doesn't really have too much experience here in LCK. Trying to shake off the rust, or not the rust, but like the beginner feeling.
The greenness, the freshness.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, he doesn't have a lot of stats going for him, that's for sure. He only has a 2.5 KDA overall. As other mid laners of the LCK probably somewhere around the high 3s or maybe even the 5s.
Yeah, they would definitely love it if Songyun was the one who picked up those kills, as generally they like to play against, or with this guy. They like to play around Songyun. But he's not doing all too bad himself. Picked up a couple of assists.
And Longzhu feeling somewhat confident here as the bottom lane continues to push even beyond where the outer turret once stood. They must have seen something that we could have missed, because they're not sure. They don't have, you know, eyes directly on top of Gragas. Now they do, because Gragas has moved into the Raptor camp.
Yeah. There was also a ward behind them, just in the lane. I was saying it was a ward for the Tigers that they could have used Linderong to try to set up a double kill, but deciding against it. And okay, they're trying to go for a kill here onto Prey as he does engage, but he gets out of there, flashing and healing himself.
I got excited there because the ROX Tigers, Syndra, and Gragas were moving into the blue side jungle. If they wanted, they could have had a 4v1 onto Prey, but decides to back off. I think the ROX Tigers were somewhat intimidated that Longzhu could have closed in and really backed up Prey to save him and even go further behind. But I feel like they should have pulled the trigger there.
Yeah, perhaps, but looks like we're going to see a rotation here as Khan makes his way down into bottom lane, wants to continue pushing, forcing Linderong into that situation, whereas they will send that duo lane up into the top side and use this to control the Baron area, to set up dives potentially up towards the top side with Cuz. Make that happen. They don't really have a place to dive down in the bottom side, and it's very far away from Baron, so I like this kind of setup.
Yep. Good, as we do get a replay of what exactly threatened Prey.
Ooh.
Wow.
Splits like an arrow. Unlucky. His RNG was quite bad there for sure.
I'm not sure if he was, another arrow.
Okay. He does have Merc Treads, and they didn't calculate that, so both the Binding and the Cocoon go wide. Sangwon, he's just taking a stroll through the river. Nice dodge there from Lava. Ooh, this guy's got his Nikes on, man. He's dodging everything.
Not sure if he should have been in a position to dodge all that in the first place, but sure, great happy feet coming out from Lava as he does escape along with Sungwon. But going back to that bottom lane dive attempt, I'm just wondering if he actually intended to flash over the arrow instead of simply being unlucky.
It's pretty close. Cuz, he got out of position here. Perfect for Key to jump on top of him. Great presence there by the support of ROX Tigers to pick up that kill, take out the jungle.
Not a great day for release players tonight, but Khan still makes it all the way into the bottom inner turret as Linderong trying to duel him.
Khan is still fine. I mean, Linderong doesn't have enough mana to win this sustained fight. Look at the lifesteal. Khan is full health, still has his ultimate. Linderong knows it, and so he just has to just let him be, essentially.
Now the bottom lane for the ROX Tigers were in the mid lane, but it looks like they want to go up to the top side to take this first outer tier turret. And Khan recalling as well.
Okay, they're looking for a TP here. Here we go. Oh boy, everybody on the side of ROX is dodging every CC that Longzhu has. Look at that, Prey eating a ton of damage out there from Lava. Now Khan in a weird spot is going to have to back. Wait, there's the ultimate. Prey just walking into the Syndra and eating it. And he's going to go down, obviously. Perhaps he thought maybe he didn't have his ultimate, but that's an easy pickup for Lava for his third kill.
Lava did flash for that. His flash is on cooldown right now, and I think Prey, he was chunked so hard. I think Longzhu had the right idea. They were about to back off, but Prey stepping forward just a little bit, and Lava taking that opportunity to flash forward and put the ult onto Prey, finishing up that fight, or at least stopping it before it even happened. There it is. Let's take a look at this fight.
It was really Songyun that forced everything. What a good dodge once again. And they walk into the Syndra and the Feathers, and Prey just gets so chunked, and we're going to see the flash here. Yeah, Prey just not expecting it.
There it is, right there. You could see the Longzhu players somewhat turn around right before Prey gets flashed on. I think they understood, hey, Prey is low, let's not do this, but a little bit too late right there. And that means that the lava hype train is, you know, it's getting ready.
Just when we were talking about how he was having trouble in LCK and how he's the worst mid laner in LCK, he's like, what did you say about me?
Is Syndra the one?
You talking smack about me? I'm lava. Now Cuz.
Well, I think he'll live out of this. I think he'll survive this.
There's going to be the flash here. Okay, forcing the response out of Cuz, which is pretty nice. Meanwhile, Prey just off doing his own thing, taking an Ocean Drake in the bottom side.
ROX Tiger is pressuring this top lane really hard, but it allows Prey to get the Ocean Drake. Good move by him. I think so far Prey might be a little bit disappointed with himself because his arrows have not been the standard that we all expect from Prey usually.
Yeah, I mean, they're slightly off course, but at the same time, ROX is really prepared today. You could tell that all the praying and deep breathing exercises they did before the match are really helping them out in their focus here. Okay, finally they land something here onto Sangyun, but I mean, it's Xayah. He's got Featherstorm still, so they're not going to full-on engage, especially with Sungwon and Linderong waiting nearby.
Khan getting a little eager there, but realizes that Maokai has the better positioning and pings onto the Baron. Ooh. Another flash burned out of Gorilla. Life of a support, you have to ward that.
Okay, they're trying to land bindings. You know, when you look at this team of Longzhu, they have 4 long-ranged picks with the arrow, with the binding, with the seismic shove, and with the cocoon. But it doesn't really net you a kill unless you can link up more than one, right? You know, you get 1 cocoon, the guy's only going to be stuck for maybe a second, then he's going to be out of there, even less with Merc Treads, and 3 of them already have Merc Treads. So they know this. ROX is preparing for all of this kind of long-range CC, and it's very hard for Longzhu to really link up more than one, especially with the Happy Feet going on. So we got a wall coming down here. Look at how much damage Khan has taken, and in the front line as well is going to almost go down. The ultimate coming down onto Khan. Cuz still trying to get damage. Sangyun extremely low as well. Nobody can get on top of him. Finally, he goes down. Prey in the back line, totally protected. Looks like he should have enough. Khan now on the chase for Key. He's going to take him out, and Prey still alive with full health with red buff, and Key going to get chomped as he goes down a almost full ace up against ROX Tigers.
You know, when that started, it looked like such a great engage for the ROX Tigers, but I just have to look at the fight again just to make sure, but Prey, nobody was on him.
That was a messy one.
Prey was free as an airplane.
Yeah,
even the bottom lane shoving into this inhibitor turret.
Yeah. Linderong, he got spotted on a ward, so he had to move and then recall to make matters worse.
And the Baron goes over to Longzhu, and I'm actually dreading watching this replay. I hope I'm wrong, but it just felt like nobody actually thought about Prey. All right, the moment of truth.
Watch Prey in this fight because, as you said, he's really the big damage dealer for them. He comes from the top side. They just don't see him. He dodges all of Maokai's stuff. And then once he gets in position, there's no one to deal with him.
He's hitting Xayah. He's hitting Rakan. He's hitting Maokai, Gragas. He's literally inside 3 people, and none of the ROX Tigers actually have the, idea to actually turn and get rid of the Ashe.
Yeah.
I mean, you could look at the brush. The brush really hid him from that vision, but you still get to see the, auto-attacking champion.
In live, okay, we're going to say goodbye to Key as he finally got hit by the link I was talking about as he does go down.
Well, the snowball has officially started rolling.
Yeah. We were waiting for it. I was getting worried for Longzhu, but seems like they have, in fact, showed up to play today.
Just one final point about that team fight. That's why every once in a while, supports, if you are playing support, when there's a team fight going on, just ward everything. Just start warding everything. Don't think about, hey, maybe I should keep this vision around the Baron, as Khan looks like he's getting threatened a little bit, but he's okay. But you don't want that one, brush to ruin your entire team fight, right? Sometimes you just have to throw down wards. It doesn't matter if it's a control ward, just throw it all down
You gotta have eyes on the important members, on the carries, right? Something that Crumbs has said from time to time. But hold that thought, Prey, he's in a bit of trouble. Never mind, he does have QSS, and he is there. But yeah, something that Crumbs has said is, in the team fights, watch the carries. Where are they? Do they get jumped on? Do they do damage? Do they get in position?
Another Ash Arrow missing, and teams posturing for a little bit of action, but I don't think they could catch on to Linderong.
It's very careful what Longzhu is doing here. The very long fight coming in down the lane, as they don't want to get hit by a stun from Lava. They know that he is the big carry, and they can't exactly jump onto him, so respecting that damage.
Good mindfulness as well to remember the low health bottom tier turret, bottom inhibitor turret, and the way that they have prepared.
Oh boy.
Oh.
That was pretty close. Meanwhile, Khan, he's being thrown around the arena. He's still okay somehow. Still hasn't gone down. They don't have enough damage to follow up. And oh boy, Lava, he gets locked down for so long, hit by that binding. And you could say goodbye if you get hit by one of those long CCs. Another one goes down. Doesn't look like they'll go for that kill, but they will rotate into mid and try to get some more objectives here with this Baron. The flash coming in, almost gets that seismic shove. This has turned into a full play-by-play stream as non-stop action on the Rift is coming out, and perhaps finally Longzhu will decide to go home.
Again, it's the characteristic of these mid to lower table teams. Once they start falling, it's like a domino effect. They keep losing one after the other, and it's just such a feel-good snowball for Longzhu, but just feels like you're getting the air punched out of your lungs when you're the ROX Tigers, when you're losing one after the other, just simultaneously, consecutively.
Yeah.
Just no room to breathe at all.
It's like when you're facing against good SKT.
Yeah.
When they, when they were good. RIP. So sad. But when they were super good and really on point, whenever they got a lead, they just shut you down so hard. Sometimes games would end in like 4 minutes. And it would be like, what the hell happened? How do they win so fast? What? A couple of our guys got picked off, and all of a sudden our Nexus turrets are going down? How did that happen? And Longzhu does like to do that as well. They do have that kind of same characteristic in terms of macro play. And this is kind of funny. Let's watch Khan get thrown around and still not die. Not enough damage.
Not sure what it was that gave him that little burst of health at the end. He doesn't have a gargoyle stone plate.
Might have been his ult, although it was on cooldown, it looks like.
Gorilla does have a Mikhail's, it might be that. But short story, Khan didn't die, and Longzhu got ahead.
This Trundle just rips away at tanks. He's like, yeah, you want to go 1v2? Fine. I love Trundle, man. So I love that he's really good in this meta too now. One of my favorite top laners to play. But either way, you can see what it's doing here on the Rift. These big tanks really have no hope against them, especially when they're meta.
Demanding so much aggro and attention so that the rest of the squad could focus on this top lane inhibitor. And I do have to question that Cloud Drake take by ROX Tigers though, because when you're this far behind, you might as well leave the Cloud Drake up so that, Longzhu takes much longer to potentially get an Elder Drake. The Weaver's Wall coming in. Longzhu really posturing for this top lane inhibitor turret.
Oh man, look at how long that binding lasts through the Feather Storm into the arrow, but they unfortunately don't have enough to pick him off. Meanwhile, at the Nexus, Khan just doing his thing. Always pressuring, drawing so much attention, going in, using his pillar to move Songyun away. Fortunately, it's not well timed with the wave and top lane, so gonna try to pick away some damage here as BDD comes in from mid. We're getting the picture-in-picture right now. And finally we get to take a look at this top lane. It's just the slow, creeping death right now for Longzhu as for the ROX Tigers as Longzhu begins to slowly push in. They're going to take out that third inhibitor.
And they're basically just chaining CC for fun at this point. Every time a binding lands, at least stun to follow it up. I do want to point out the mechanical, awareness that Prey just displayed. Although Nature's Graph coming in from behind, Linderong with teleport play, but Zaya.
Yeah.
Deleted.
Totally deleted, and with Black Shields, it doesn't really do much if you're a Maokai against a Morgana. I can see why teams are beginning to pick this up, so
Con falls, but
that was just, you know, overconfidence. He's going 1v3, he's having a little bit of fun, and why not? I mean, this team is just looking so unbeatable at this point. What are you gonna do against them? ROX being totally cut out of the rift right now as a double kill goes over to BDD. That's gonna be the 1-0, easy peasy in 34 minutes for Longzhu.
in the end, ROX Tigers looking good for just a moment until they didn't look good anymore. Again, it's these mid and bottom table teams' shared characteristic of every once in a while, it's not like they don't know how to get ahead, right? It's not like they don't know how to fight, but it's just not being solid enough to not give advantages one after the other, because Longzhu Gaming, just their style looking unstoppable at this point, looking like they're about to hit a 6-game winning streak after this one.
Yep, that is what is predicted around the world. Seemingly nobody can stop this team, and yeah, just really fantastic macro early on. They got that very slight lead. ROX, unfortunately, couldn't snowball a couple of the good things that they did into bigger advantages, and Longzhu just held on, won a couple of team fights in crucial spots, and were able to come back to win that game. So probably going to get a look at some of the replays from that game.
BDD finishing that game on a 7-0-5 to Leah, and
as if he needed higher KDA, right?
Exactly. I believe he was around 11. Nobody even coming close, let alone in the mid lane charts or the whole LCK ranking. Cuz not looking like he's having a good time.
Well, he, as you said, a lot of these Elise players are having a rough time right now as they're getting caught out. And this was the big first fight, the gigantic seismic shove into Gorilla, and Cuz actually going a little bit too deep, as Key does a very good job helping pick up those couple of kills. But again, Linderong just going too deep himself. And then the follow-up chase here by Longzhu eventually netting them the advantage.
Great awareness dodge that stun from Syndra as well. And the pillar to really drive the dagger home, I feel, as Prey picks up the last kill onto Rakan and got the snowball rolling.
Down to the last auto attack.
Oh, this is so heartbreaking to watch. It just, I legitimately feel bad watching this.
Yeah, this was ROX's big opportunity, right? They jump onto Elise and they basically kill her. She does nothing in the fight, and they get Khan CC'd the entire time as well, and they almost burst him down. Everything's looking great, and then all of a sudden, they get disorganized, and Prey has perfect positioning and kills them all.
He's so comfortable. Nothing's happening to him. It's like he's invisible or something. It's like,
being an AD carry, everybody talks about mechanics. Mechanics definitely are the most important thing, making sure you're auto-attacking every time you can. But then the next thing is positioning, right? You need to have good positioning, make sure you're not getting caught out, you're very weak, you're a glass cannon. I think number 3 is timing, right? When you come into fights. Do you go in right at the beginning to get the full amount of damage during the entirety of the fight, or do you come in at the end, but after all the CC has been used, after they burned everything on a very tanky Trundle and an Elise that wasn't really doing much all game, and then you come in and you shred them all down? And Prey, I mean, this guy's a veteran. He knows what he's doing. He knows the timing. And I think that was really the big key for him in that fight as he carried his team to victory.
And another under 35-minute victory for Longzhu. This team, again, so many 2-0s, so many quick games under 35 minutes.
Yeah, well, looks like we'll have a sub here on the side of the ROX Tigers, as it looks like the Smitey Bear is entering the Rift. We'll see if he can help the ROX Tigers up against Longzhu in game number 2 after a quick 8-minute commercial break. We'll be right back, guys.